Alright, so let's go ahead and go over this update here. Now, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is this new building, which is the Armory. And you have Aevatrex and you have Equipment. Now, for some reason, the first one that I actually took up was my Gunslinger. I don't really know why, I just kind of did it. So I kind of used all of my resources that I got at the beginning to take up the Gunslinger. And now we have the Straights, which we will get into in just a second. But once you get this up to 20 out of 20 by collecting Aevatrex, the way that you do that, by the way, when you go here, it tells you exactly how to do it. You gain 1 Aevatrex for every 200 experience per battle by trading in your tomes, and you also get daily Aevatrex. That's the main way. I've actually, by consuming tomes, actually, it seems like 37 pretty much maxes out from that. So I would say like about 50 of these maxes it out, which in turn I think maxes out a complete hero. So that's not too bad, but that depends on you. Now, of course, with the Gunslinger, I've maxed it out to 20 out of 20. And when you go to level up, there's this equipment level right here. And you go to Augment, and now, of course, there's duplicates if you have a duplicate. Now, this is going to be good for shard heroes, like, you know, your druids, etc. But if you don't, then the game also gives you the option of using these. And where do you get these? Well, let me go ahead and show you. When you go to the warehouse now and you go to trade fame, there's 2 new things that come up. There is an augmenting stone, which costs 3,000 fame, and there's also an oath tablet, which costs 300, but since it takes 10, that's pretty much another 3,000. So all in all, we're talking about 6,000 fame. So once you go over here, and I'll go back to my Gunslinger, we'll go over here, we'll go to Augment, and we will go ahead and use our stone, and instead of that, we will use these, hit OK, and now we can augment our things. So let's go ahead and do it. There goes 6,000 fame, and there it is. Your equipment gained an enchantment. You can now change your equipment's traits. There we go. So now that we've done that, equipment augmented, we go to traits, and here's where it gets interesting. This is basically extra talents. Now they each have their HP, crit, accuracy, etc. They're all great, but you can roll and try to get something better. So this is where it gets a little tricky, because you can change it with gems, which is where a lot of people are like, we already have too many things to use our gems with, which I tend to agree. But the thing about it is that you also get an option to use your merits. So people like me, I'm just using myself as an example because everybody's a little different, but look at my merits. Like, I'm almost capped, and I always buy whatever I actually want from these things, but I'm almost capped. So a different way to use our merits, it's welcomed, especially when you have those events that only give you merits. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But let's go ahead and check this out, because I myself have not actually done this, so we will learn here together. Now, of course, you can go ahead and lock these traits, but when you lock them, the change with merits, it doesn't actually change, but it adds a gem price to it. Now, if you lock, let's just say you're looking for one specific one, that's where it gets expensive. Once you start locking them, it gets super expensive. So if you really like one, just lock 1, maybe 2, and we're still talking about a decent rate. Maybe 3, but that's, you know, that's where the real jump comes from. 15. That's not bad, because then you're just rolling the other 4. But again, this is one of those things where it's gonna be based on luck, so I can see why people are a little bit hesitant to actually, you know, be on board with this. But I think we just gotta give it some time, see how it all works. Now the other thing is this right here, Sanctified Blast. So once you do that, you have a 6% chance to deal 240% attack damage to and remove all buffs. What the heck? Okay, maybe that's bad translation, but anyways, deal 240% attack damage and remove all buffs from a nearby enemy hero when attacked with a cooldown of 8 seconds. Now that's actually pretty good, but look at all of these new talents that everybody is probably going to have to learn. That's a lot. They're called enchantments, but and I don't know. It's a lot. To me, that's what's really crazy about this update, because there's so much change that it's a little overwhelming for a lot of players. But once you start taking up all of the heroes and you see what everything, you know, what all of these things have to offer, then maybe it could become like the crest, where the crest came with their own talents, with their own stats, and all of that. But at this point, I think it's just going to be a big learning curve for a lot of people, because it's just a massive update. It's just clearly what it is, and this is just covering the armory for the most part. Now this is not like a detailed review or anything like that, but you pretty much get it. As a matter of fact, let me see, what do I want to keep? Do I want to keep my accuracy? Do I really care about accuracy? Probably not. I'll keep the HP. Alright, let's change it just to show. There we go. So what do we get here? We get dodge, we get crit, we get more crit, crit resistance, and HP. So we get more HP. That's actually not too bad. That's actually not too bad. This change right here, I wonder how does this work right here? Where do I go to change this? I don't know if this change is supposed to actually take me to something, but I've never actually messed with that. Change. Because I know you can change it, but it's just... Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Okay, there we go. It wasn't working for whatever reason. It just... I don't know, I guess it bugged out. Okay, so Sanctified Blast, that's the enchantment that I was able to get. Now, of course, here are all the enchantments, and you can see what each one of them does at level 1 all the way up to level 5, and it is a lot, let me tell you. It's a lot. And when you go here to change, once again, it's like rolling talents, which is more gem use, so, you know, it's like they added rolling talents and rolling, I don't know, it's a lot more rolling, basically, they added to the game. And I don't know, I think, to me, I'm just gonna leave it as is. I don't think I'm gonna be using gems on this stuff, because I don't really want to use my gems on this. But this is where players really just have to decide what they actually want to use their gems for, what will be worth it for them. I know that a lot of players will probably use their gems to change this, but you know, just use the gems smartly and the way that you feel would benefit you the most. But yeah,